additional victim that we didn't know about earlier when we were reporting the story over the weekend.
My name is Robert McConnell, and I'm the BCI captain for the New York State Police in Troop J. I would like to thank members of the media for being with us today. I'm joined to the podium by Zone Commander Captain Gary Denise, Assistant BCI Commander of Troop G, Lieutenant Andrew Cornell, Acting Director of Forest Protection, Dave Patcher, Deputy Commissioner Matthew Franklin, Acting Colonel Brian Gillis, Captain Scott Daly from the Department of Environmental Conservation of Public Protection. The New York State Police and our partners is currently investigating the homicide of Melina Frattolin. I want to remind everyone that this is an ongoing investigation, and this information is preliminary and subject to change. On Saturday, July 19th, 2025, at approximately 10 o'clock p.m., Warren County 911 received a call from a man reporting his 9-year-old daughter missing with a possible abduction in the area of exit 22.
So they were on a trip from Canada to New York. And supposedly, I think the parents were estranged, but the mother was in Canada. And this guy, on their way back, because he was given inconsistencies, he reported his daughter was missing. The girl spoke to her mother. So they planned the trip. They entered the United States July 11th, and they planned to return July 20th to Canada. And the daughter lived full time with her mother. It almost makes me think about that Travis Decker, that nut job that killed his 3 daughters. The parents had been estranged since 2019. At around 5:30 p.m. on July 19th, they were seen on video surveillance, the father and the daughter, in Saratoga Springs, New York. About 6:30, the girl spoke to her mother on the phone and told her she and her father were on their way back to Canada. Sometime after Melina spoke to her mother on the phone and before the father reported her missing, he allegedly killed her. There was an Amber Alert issued. There was an Amber Alert killed. Her body was found in a shallow portion of a pond in a wooded area. Police said her cause of death is still pending. And he reported his daughter missing around 10 p.m. July 19th. So she last spoke to her mother at 6:30 p.m. The father at 10 calls and says that he was driving on I-87 in Lake George when he pulled over to use the bathroom, to urinate in a wooded area. And he said when he came back to his car, his daughter was gone. Lord Almighty. Police confirmed on July 20th at around 5 p.m. Eastern that Melina was found dead in Ticonderoga, New York, which is about 100 miles north of Albany, by the Vermont border. And they said that this guy's been inconsistent. What a POS. I don't understand what these people are getting from doing this kind of ish.
Of I-87 Northway in Lake George. The child was identified as Melina Frattolin, age 9, and the caller as her father, Luciano Frattolin, age 45. The New York State Police and Warren County Sheriff's Office immediately responded to the area of exit 22 of the Northway and initiated an investigation in an attempt to locate Melina. On Sunday, July 20th, a search detail comprised of officers from multiple agencies conducted an organized search in the town of Ticonderoga, New York. In an area Mr. Frattolin was suspected of having visited. During that search detail, at approximately 10:50, members of the New York State Police Forest Rangers located Melina deceased in the shallow portion of a pond. This investigation has revealed that on July 11th, 2025, Mr. Frattolin and Melina, both residents of Montreal, Quebec, legally entered the United States for the purpose of a vacation. They are expected to return to Canada on Sunday, July 20th, at which time Melina would be returned to the custody of her mother in Montreal. The mother and Mr. Frattolin have been estranged since 2019. The child resided full-time with her mother, and Frattolin visited with the child when in Canada. At about 5:30 p.m. on July 20th, Melina is observed with her father on video surveillance in Saratoga Springs, New York. At about 6:30 p.m., she spoke to her mother on the phone and told her she and her father were en route back to Canada. The child appeared to be in good health and did not indicate she was under any duress. The investigation has determined sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother and before Mr. Frattolin's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melina and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement. Initial reports from Mr. Frattolin of a suspicious white van in the area of the alleged disappearance was proven to be untrue. The suspect has been charged with murder in the second degree and concealment of a human corpse. He was then transported to the Essex County Correctional Facility where he was held pending arraignment. The suspect is scheduled to be at Ticonderoga Town Court this morning for arraignment. Melina's cause of death is pending the results of an autopsy, which is scheduled for later today. This is certainly a difficult case and a heartbreaking investigation. On behalf of the New York State Police and our law enforcement partners, I want to offer our condolences to the family of Melina. I would additionally like to thank our partners with the Warren County Sheriff's Office, Essex County Sheriff's Office, Warren County District Attorney, Essex County District Attorney, the Montreal Police Department, Department of Environmental Conservation, the Ticonderoga Police Department, and the FBI for their assistance in this investigation. If any member of the public has information regarding the death of Melina Frattolin, I encourage them to contact the New York State Police at area code 518-783-3211. I will now answer a limited number of questions. I ask for your patience as due to the active nature of this ongoing investigation, I am limited with respect to how much we can release at this time.
Do we know motive?
The motive is still under investigation.
What led you to believe that, what was the first sign that there were inconsistencies in the story?
Yes, so the suspect's initial account is that he had pulled over in the area of exit 22 in Lake George, pulled over into a parking lot to urinate. His initial report is he steps away to a wooded area, returns to the vehicle, and at that point, his child is gone from the vehicle. He reports a suspicious white van fleeing the scene southbound. During a subsequent interview, he then reports two unknown males forced her into a white van. That lead was thoroughly investigated and disproven.
Do we know the cause of death yet?
The cause of death is pending the results of the autopsy, which is scheduled for today. Go ahead.
Do you know anything about his mental state of mind?
We have no information that there's any issues with mental health, no.
And you say that he was estranged from his wife. Do you know if he was authorized to travel alone with his daughter?
He was.
Does Mr. Frattolin have any criminal record in the U.S. or Canada that you're aware of?
He has no criminal history. He has no domestic violence history either.
How cooperative was Luciano in the discovery of her body?
I cannot provide any information with regard to that at this point.
How will it work since they're both Canadian citizens? How will you try?
I don't want to speak to the prosecution, but he'll be charged and prosecuted in New York State.
What led you to Ticonderoga?
I don't want to divulge too much with respect to law enforcement technology or the tools we use, just to say that we focus our search area at Ticonderoga based on inconsistencies in his initial account, as well as some technology available to law enforcement.
Where did the 911 call emanate from?
The suspect,
No, geographically. Where was
Warren
it?
County.
Okay. Was it in Lake George though, or was it?
It was the area of Lake George, correct, in the area of exit 22.
Forgive me if this was already covered. What are the charges?
Murder in the second degree
Second
and
degree.
concealment of the human corpse.
In terms of the Amber Alert, I know there's been reports of some people getting it, some not. Can you just tell us what the process was in issuing the Amber Alerts and what time?
I don't have the time in front of me, but I can tell you just any time an Amber Alert is issued, there's a balance between providing prompt information to the public, but also ensuring that information is accurate and reliable. We don't want to numb the public with unvetted alerts. So in this case, it was difficult to confirm some of the initial information provided by the suspect.
Do we know what reason they were visiting the U.S.?
It was just a vacation. It was a planned vacation. They visited a couple locations in Connecticut as well as New York. They were most recently in New York City.
You said surveillance was in Saratoga Springs. Was that the last piece of surveillance you received, or was there anything more than that?
That's correct.
Could you just go over the timeline one more time?
I do not have the timeline in front of me.
What was the surveillance? Where was that? Was that a business or?
It was at a restaurant.
Do you know about how many officers were devoted to this search?
I can't give you a number. It would be measured in the dozens. The Warren County Sheriff's Office sent every resource available to investigate this right at its inception. Same with the New York State Police. We had us in conjunction with law enforcement partners. We had aviation, drones, K-9, investigators, uniformed troopers. Every resource we had to bear, we applied in this investigation.
Where will the arraignment be held today, and do you have a time?
I don't have a time. It's scheduled for today in town of Ticonderoga Court.
Just to clarify, you said the body was found in shallow water?
In the shallow portion of a pond in a remote area. That's correct.
What area was that?
We're not divulging the location at this point.
Did it appear that he had tried to conceal the body?
Yes.
How do you think the response was? You had a multi-agency search in a very short period of time. How did that work for you? How do you think that worked?
Public safety is always our number one priority. While these cases are very rare, they are incredibly tragic. And I just want to ensure the public that the New York State Police and our law enforcement partners will always utilize all available resources to apprehend any offenders that endanger children.
Can you talk at all about how difficult this case was involving a 9-year-old girl?
It was very difficult. It's very emotional. I was at the command post when we received notification that she was deceased. It was very difficult and emotional. At that point, though, the best we could do is provide some measure of justice to the family, and we are just fortunate we're able to do that in this case.
Did he stay, like, within police presence after that 911 call, or was he like under any sort of observation?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
After Luciano made the 911 call, did he stay under any sort of observation by police? Was he, I guess, in sort of some sort of police presence up until his arrest?
Yes, he reported this. He fabricated the initial report of the abduction, and he was in the custody of police from that point on.
Take one more question, guys.
Did you say that the mother, I'm sorry, did you say if the mother had any concerns about the safety of her daughter while she was with him?
She had no concerns for her daughter's safety while she was with him. She knew that he was taking her on this trip to the States. Law enforcement was in contact with her, as well as Montreal PD, during the course of the investigation. Thank you.
Guys so much.
Thank you.
Crazy, man. Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Reminds me of that. It makes me think of Malia Davis, too, because that stepfather lied and said that the kids were kidnapped. Or Malia was kidnapped. He pulled over to fill his tire with air or something. He said she was kidnapped. Wow. What a mess. They found her pretty quickly, too. 9-year-old girl. Going on a trip with dad. Evil, man. Evil. Evil, 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 evil. What are you going to say? Mental health. Evil. By the way, this real quick here, that guy that ran over 30-something people and left them in critical condition after a nightclub altercation, the police in California are really trying to find the guy that shot that guy. There was a guy that shot the guy that had rammed this car into 30-something people. And so they're putting in overtime and extra resources to locate the guy that almost murdered dozens of people. Not the driver, but the guy that shot the nut job. I guess to hold him accountable for shooting that guy.
And finding that shooter.
They released some images
These are
now.
new still images of the shooting suspect, accused of opening fire on a driver who had just plowed into a group of people. The rampage happened Saturday morning around 2 a.m. as an event was wrapping up at the...
So the guy rammed this vehicle. Oh yeah, he was his business. He was I forgot he was. Was he have like a coffee shop or something? Or he was a founder of a coffee shop? I had that somewhere here. The father that killed his daughter. The founder of a coffee company in Montreal. I was saying about of that from business page before it was removed. I grabbed a screenshot sent via X. Oh, interesting. Thanks. Let me open it here. Luciano Frattolin is an experienced entrepreneur with a proven track record of building diverse, high-performance businesses with a background in the humanities and social sciences. His former education, together with his pragmatic understanding about the complexities of life, motivates him to maintain an understanding of the world grounded in a distinct cross-cultural ethos. The son of an Ethiopian mother and an Italian father, Luciano was born in a small, remote village of Gambela, with a childhood spent running between rows of crimson coffee buds on the Ethiopian family plantation and the neoclassic architecture of his father, Milano. His vision of the world and his pursuits within reflect these hyphenated cultures. Yet his early exposure to such diversity was bound or beyond that of his peers, and his distinct mixed ethnicity often led to incidences of racism. It's always racism and feelings of isolation. Yet you hear you killed your own daughter. With the premature death of his father, make his dad proud. When Luciano was just 17 years old, he yearned for a different life, far away from these painful experiences. While continuing his education in the United States and London, he witnessed and felt acceptance he had always longed for. He was left reinvigorated and reconciled the difficulties he faced during his youth by embodying the Nietzschean attitude, that of which does not kill him, makes him stronger. Kanye West. The philosophy translated into great financial success across numerous ventures, from architecture to real estate to construction, mining, and of course coffee. While enjoying the rewards of his efforts, Luciano ultimately lost his passion for the art of life, and his commitment to elevating the social consciousness of his peers and compatriots. He forgot the gifts his unique dual nationality granted him. The innovation and creativity born out of the simplicity of and extravagances found across both countries. He readily admits the mistake of his past life and uses such reminiscences as momentum for doing better. In February 2019, Luciano was met with an unfortunate event that severely affected his well-being. Though his road to recovery was long and arduous, he remained determined. As he persevered through his recovery, he realized that he was no longer lured by profit and instead decided to invest in people and ideas that resonated with the promise of futurity, creativity, and community well-being. Luciano currently spends as much time as he can in Montreal, Canada, with his beautiful daughter, Melina, as the light of his life. She is the inspiration for everything. His pursuits for building more equitable and just world are deeply guided by his determination that she will not have to endure the same social injustices that he encountered throughout his childhood. Seeing the world through her eyes has also helped Luciano look for creative ways to reinforce and empower Melina to know, feel, and understand her own unique individual beauty and intellect. while teaching her to celebrate those same virtues inherent in the world's diversity. On a lighter note, Melina has also taught Luciano to let go of his rigid tendencies to keep everything in perfect order. His love for Melina's messy art projects and chaotic ensemble of toys supersedes his love for a meticulously spotless home. Wow. Ain't that crazy? The love of his daughter, the love of his life. And in case you didn't get it from there, he's diverse. He's a very diverse person that's experienced racism. So, there you go. But none of that matters. All that stuff that he wrote about himself, none of that stuff matters, because in the end, all he will ever be known is for being a child murderer and murdering your own daughter. That's the only thing you will ever be known for the rest of your pathetic life. I don't know what drives people to do this. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm kind of tired of this like mental health shit too. But whoa, is this what's mental health? There's a lot of people that have mental health and they get help and they get their stuff taken care of. They go to the doctor. They try to do what they can do. They don't go killing their kids, murdering, and doing horrendous acts. So I wonder, is he just going to plead guilty? Is he going to try to come up with some excuse? Was he jealous of the mother? Was this his way of getting back at the mother? Hook said baby mama drama. I'm going to go with baby mama drama, or tried something and was fought. Well, the veteran, Travis Decker, there was a whole bunch of custody problems going on. He was already, well, they said he had PTSD, but he was already off edge and in fear of losing his kids forever, which he really couldn't provide for those kids. He needed mental help. He did. Still doesn't excuse murdering his kids, being on the run, but he couldn't provide for those kids either. It was not a good situation for those kids to be in. So those redeeming qualities that he's obsessed about, probably obsessed with his whole life about race, none of that shit matters. None of it, all that stuff. Your only legacy is going to be murdering your daughter and being a despicable, wicked person. That's it. So we're going to do another little live. We're going to do another quick live, I guess. Or I don't know if it's long or short or what this is actually. I think, we're going to watch this. I think it's about 20 minutes. The parents of, it says Texas parents hold memorial for flood victims, but what I was told is it turned into a thing of blaming Trump and also climate change. I don't know if these people, I don't think these people speaking are the actual parents of the deceased children. I think these are just parents talking about the situation. And so I wanted to check that out for a little bit. So if you want to join me on the second page, I'll transfer you guys. Do a redirect here. I wanted to check that out.